But I just kind of, want to freestyle with us a little bit, man. Like, D, what's like a couple of the issues you feel need to be addressed in our community? I mean, I know there's like a million, but
you start.
Just think stuff that comes to mind, like,
Shit, man. I feel like one of the main issues, and it's been said so many times, it's a cliche at this point, but we need like legitimate unity in our communities, and like that looks different in a lot of different ways. But I often hear people say like Black people aren't monolithic, which we aren't, but there are a lot of benefits from being monolithic. If we use like the Asian community as an example, they're extremely monolithic in their viewpoints and their political views, social views, all type of things. So as Black people, if we really want our station in America and our station in life to be better for all of us across the board, then we do have to adopt more uniform ways of going about things. I can't say exactly what we all have to agree upon or how we have to go about it, but number one is like we have to have like legitimate unity, like for sure, whether it's I don't know, Killer Mike just opened up a bank, so unless we all say we're only going to bank with this bank for sure, because like I can't go into an Asian community and open up a bank, a corner store, I can't be on the corner selling nothing. I can't do, they're not, and even if I could, they're not going to do business with me.
Right.
And it's because
they trade our
exactly
and put their little laundry mats
exactly.
And all that, and we go right over there.
So we do have to have more of like a uniformed approach to like, because we do have to also understand that even if we don't feel like it's us versus everybody else benefits off of us. Everybody else benefits off of us. You feel me? They send their children to college off of us. They build generational wealth off of us. So that's probably one of the main things. Shoot, I feel like that would take care of a lot. We do have to get a little bit more. We have to redevelop our understanding of like economics in America, for sure. Understanding how money works over a long period of time, like over like 5 years, 10 years, and understanding like, understanding like compound interest and investing, and then understanding and economically.
But that does require, what I think one of our biggest issues is the resources. We need people
to a degree. I mean,
we need stuff there to teach us financial literacy or
need
something.
Teachers, but I mean, a lot of stuff is you can get it on YouTube, stuff like that. But I mean, it's like understanding like how America is set up economically. So with credit, understanding how to use credit appropriately. So a lot of people, we use credit as consumers. So it's like, oh, I can, I got this credit card, I could go buy some clothes, I could go buy a thing, but it's just dead at the end of the day. Other communities, you could say like Jewish communities, Asian communities, they leverage their debt. So if they got like a credit or they got, credit card or something like that, they'll use it to purchase an asset or something like that eventually will start bringing in more money over time. Right. Or they'll take $10,000 and just put it, well, we're dealing with Black people, so they'll take a couple $100 and they'll say, okay, what can I do to free me, basically? How can I use this money in ways to alleviate some of the day-to-day stresses of having to go to work every single day? Right. And they play the long game like a motherfucker. So our economic understanding has to be just completely just overhauled, honestly, because we don't have any. For Black people, we don't really have any true understanding of how money works. We don't have any true understanding of how business works. Even though it's getting better, for sure, it's getting better. I don't want to say like it's not getting better, but that's probably the main thing. And then after that,
and the level of independency that we're striving for
right now. And then after that, so more actual unity, better understanding of like our economic system that we live in, and then after that, we just have to have more of a I gotta do it myself mentality. So
pour yourself up
food, something, basically like that. Yeah, we have to be in charge of like our food, our healthcare, and things like that. If we really, 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 really want to be made okay, because like on every level, Black people like get the short end of the stick. Like when it comes to if there's a food desert where there's like no grocery stores around, it's probably in the Black community. And then if there are grocery stores in the Black community, we're probably getting like the lowest quality of food, lowest quality of everything that we could possibly get there. When it comes to healthcare, our infant mortality rate is the highest. Our our chronic diseases are the highest. Our I don't know what the proper term is, but Black women who are pregnant, they die at a higher rate than other women. So it's like we really need to figure out exactly how we can take control of ourselves and our future. Because as long as we're dependent on other people to do stuff for us, we're always going to be crying about this isn't being done right, or this isn't this it is, and we're always in the position to be taken advantage of. So
speaking to that point of like Black women dying at a high rate, when it comes to that, I actually seen a post around the time when the George Floyd protests were going on and stuff that said that I think they said like doctors to Black women are like what police are with
yeah, for sure.
Something to that degree. Maybe you could speak to that a little more.
I mean, I personally can't say that I've had too much experience dealing with it firsthand. I'd say my only experience is going to a mental health facility after I've been at my lowest point, punching myself in the face, tequila on my breath, with the person who caused me to be at this point.
Right.
And them still acknowledging that something's wrong. I'm sure they smell the tequila on my breath and still not admitting me when I'm openly telling them I need to be in a 3-day hold. And they let me leave with my catalyst. And the cycle continues. It's things like that where it wasn't to talk to my therapist, who is a Black woman, for her to tell me like, yeah, that's your first experience in dealing with Black women not being taken seriously in the mental health community and in the health community in general. My best friend, one of the things, they were trying to give her a whole ass hysterectomy last year. Here she is a year later. She has a child. They tried to tell her she would never have a family. A year later, she has a child. It's little things like that where it's like she had health problems, so she had to be in the doctor's care. She's anemic. She had to be in the doctor's care, but she had to be aware and more adamant and more nervous about how she was being cared for.
Right.
And she would more so understand that aspect than I would. I only more so understand the mental health aspect. And even then, it's only one example, but ultimately I've seen it and I can see it. I've seen lives of female who are openly in labor not being listened to for their requests of not having an epidural, not being induced into labor, not having a C-section, whatever it may be, not being heard, not being listened to, not being respected for their human rights. I've definitely seen it time and time again.
All right, and I mean, is there something you feel like we need to address more than I mean, I know you're strongly about the mental health aspect for sure.
I mean, I feel like when it comes to sexism is an umbrella term, so that can mean a lot of different things. But sexism in regards to, let's just say, Black people's expression, whether it be through music, sexual music for females, whether it be through dancing, pole dancing, not stripping, pole dancing, because that's a problem too. Pole fitness is a whole ass issue too. As if
I just realized that,
which is interesting. Like, wait, why you mad at me finding a way? That's ballet and yoga and gymnastics mixed together and thrown onto a pole. That's whole ass art.
Like,
what
another
are you mad
15
at?
years before we like across the board. Like, those are two different things.
Right? No. And I mean, even just sexism in the sense of sex workers. Black women are heavily portrayed as strippers or are big into the sex work industry, which is stripping, dancing. And I'm not talking about escort. I'm not talking about prostitute. Dancing is sex work. Let's call a spade a spade. That is technically what it falls under. But they're so looked down upon. They're hoes. They're sluts. They're just fucking for money. I was a dancer. I got paid to get looked at, not touched. I got $700 a night to be looked at and dance and drink. Do the same shit I was doing at the bars, except I'm not getting molested by motherfuckers I know or do not know. I'm not getting touched. I'm not getting heavily harassed. If I am, it's nothing to get them kicked out in 0.2 seconds. I don't see what the problem is for sexism. Same with what we talked about last time with WAP. how women talk about sexuality and sex in their music and how they use their bodies. Why is that such a problem? When niggas can not only talk about how they using their bodies, but how they're taking advantage of females' bodies, and all the ways that they are using the assets that females can bring to the table or offer as being humans with vaginas. So, I mean, I think it's very interesting. We need to break down that stigma because it's one of the same. Human is human, sexuality is sexuality. I don't think men have the right or entitlement to be more sexual beings or able to have more sex than females because they're entering and not receiving. Like, that's retarded to me, personally.
But topic for another day.
It is, but that's just, a preview of, that's one aspect I feel needs work on amongst mental health, amongst various other things. But if you got something to throw in there too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what I said earlier about us having more resources, I think is the biggest one that's undermined. And, especially me seeing Nipsey do what he did, it showed me like, okay, I'm not tripping. That is what the hell we supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be building that around or changing the stigma of certain areas, that are just looked at. It's just like, this is just so poverty, we're not even going to have nobody go over there. Like, no. Have these millionaires and executives go there and change the stigma of that area, so the kids that's walking by that's innocent, but we know our kids aren't looked at as kids, but they're kids, and when they could actually go outside and see that, and they could touch their heroes and stuff, it gives them like a more sense of like, oh, I don't have to pick up a gun, I don't have to look up to the neighborhood dope dealer and
I don't have to feel some sense of family.
Either. Like, I don't have to they don't feel the need to go to that extent to where they just they end up when they older and just the cycle continues. Another statistic. Another one I can give y'all a story like of when we were having the protests out here with Robert Fuller, and this is kind of what you were saying earlier. Our unity is like, it is shot right now. Because like honestly, you're probably not gonna see me at another like protest no time soon, because we was out there and it was just like we weren't on one accord. Like we literally have like guns drawn down on us like from police. Like I know I was literally yelling like, nigga, like put the guns down, like I'm on them. And it was other people talking about like hands up, don't shoot. It was some people saying like, no, take a knee. And then there was a few of them, like myself included, like, nigga, I'm not taking no effing knee. Right. These niggas got guns drawn down. I'm not putting my hands up, and these niggas got guns drawn down on us. Like, especially I'm out here with a Huey Newton shirt that say fight back. Like, what the hell I look like? So just after that day, and again, it was other people that felt the way I felt. They were saying the same thing, but then there was, it just wasn't on one accord, because I'm like, man, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're out protesting, that means you out there and you're ready for whatever ramifications come with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're protesting, like you're literally putting your life on the line. Like, but it seems like some of them were out there and just trying to appeal the news outlets or to the white people, like, or just like, oh Instagram no, we want to say it's peaceful. I don't care if they say it's peaceful or not. Yeah. That's not what I'm out here for. We out here for whatever it is at that time.
They took that Martin Luther King shit and beat us over the head with it favorite
goal. So it was white people out there, bro, like in the protest with us saying like, oh, let's just be like peaceful. Like the fact that y'all even allowing them to have that type of voice, you know what I mean? And again, like Martin Luther King, that's their favorite go-to, but it's like, you niggas killed him too.
And
so,
I was like, that's amazing. Like, y'all killed him too. Shit, like, and that was like halfway through his career. Like, by the time he was done, he was on some like, he was damn near about to be a socialist by the time it was over with.
And another thing is they hated that nigga. Like, white people didn't like Martin Luther King. When he was talking and preaching what he was preaching, they called him every name in the book that you can think of.
It's just a silencing tactic, honestly, at the end of the day. But I definitely love your point about with Nipsey thing, because like that's a major thing that we gotta do as black people. Is like, we always want to like go where we see value already instead of creating value where we're at. That's the main thing, and that's also goes into business as well. Like, you find something that doesn't have value and you add value to it until other people want to come and like even purchase it from you or be a part of it. But that's like one of the main things. It's like even with this podcast, it's like we building it from the ground up, so we're adding value to it as we go along.
And it's like with white people, or I ain't just gonna say white.
And that's
people,
not to cut you off, but that's essentially that's what gentrification is. That's white people coming to a place where they feel like there's no value. They fix it up,
and they change
it up, and they add value to it, and to the point where we can't barely damn near afford to live where we grew up.
But it's not for us; it's for them. So.
Right. So adding value, learning to, I don't know, just have more of a innovative mindset where it's like, even though I don't see the beauty in it right now, I see it in my mind, and I have the willpower and the wherewithal to bring it forward.
And we got to do it, and like again, like with Nip, he was doing it in Crenshaw. Like Melo needs to do that in Baltimore. Brian needs to do that in Cleveland. Like it's sad that it mostly comes down to our entertainers because that's who has the most influence. But I mean, LeBron was able to build a school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, based on his influence. That's not something that just money is gonna buy.
Yeah, like, and it's the long. I'm telling you, it's the long game. So it's like it's not something that's gonna be immediate. But if you stay diligent and continue to do it over time, eventually, like within a year from now, you're gonna be looking back like shit. Like this don't even look the same.
And it's just changing the fact that like our parents have to tell us like you can do anything, you can be anything, like because other races don't have to be told that. They see it. They see the representation when they turn the TV on. They see it, just in their everyday lives. We have to be told that because we're only seen as entertainers for the most part.
Yeah, not factual. Like when I worked at like Knockout, when people get home loans, it'd be like Asian people, white people come in, and like I'm like, okay, you need to put $20,000 down, $30,000 down. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ask my mom. I'm gonna ask my uncle. You feel me? Like
man, that might be another topic.
Like they be bringing,
that might be a whole other
like
topic,
they bring up like Jeff Bezos started Amazon in his parents' garage or something like that, but they don't.
It's supposed to be like books or something.
Yeah, but they don't. They always leave out the fact that his parents damn near gave him $300,000 to start. You feel me? Like Donald Trump got a small loan of $1 million from his dad. Like our realities just aren't the same.